up, motherfuckers? It's the hater back again, and we're gonna talk about some AEW Dynamite tonight, motherfuckers. And we're gonna talk about some other shit too. First, let's get to the subscriber shoutouts. First of all, we got Shamar Brown, who says he's subscribed. He says, "Just subscribe. Shout out, please." And he also wanted another shout out, so I've already denied him one. So Shamar Brown, there you are, motherfucker. Welcome to the family, to the friendship. Next, we got Parkinins. Parkinins. What up, Parkinins? You're a cool guy. I like your little avatar, your little picture. It looks like it's two leaves making out. It's kind of weird, but I like it, dog. What else we got? We got Jacob Allfather. Another new subscriber. Welcome, motherfucker. And we have ZVNTICFN, which is a new subscriber. Or maybe it's pronounced Vintage Fan. Who knows, motherfuckers? But he's here. Darian Gray. We got Darian Gray up in this bitch. Darian Gray. That's a new subscriber. As well as Undertaker Badass. We've been getting a lot of new subscribers lately. I really enjoyed that. I really like that, motherfuckers. I like growing up in this bitch. You know, it's almost my 6-month anniversary. I think it's tomorrow. And like I said, my goal was to get 500 subscribers. And here we are, motherfuckers. So now let's get to the AEW review before we talk about the general state of wrestling, all right? First of all, this show was complete garbage. Let's just get it started with that, you know what I'm saying? This show was unadulterated garbage, all right? And that's for more than one reason. I mean, there was a lot of bad going on in this show. I mean, it was very similar to Monday Night Raw. You know, not much to talk about. That's what we're going to spend the majority of this video talking about other shit, all right? But so let's get this review out of the way. Let's be real. First match took about 30 minutes. Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker. I cannot think of any reason why this match should be 30 minutes. I can't even think of a reason why this match should even exist. But yet here we are, motherfuckers, all right? So the match started. It was a bunch of back and forth bullshit. At a certain point, Britt Baker starts bleeding from her mouth. You know, that was kind of cool. It was cool because it looked badass, and also because she's Britt Baker. You know what I mean? She's, what's the word? What's the word here, motherfuckers? She's a dentist. So the fact that she's bleeding out of her mouth is like, you know, ironic, right? Because she's supposed to like make people bleed from their mouths, both through dentistry and through her little move where she breaks someone's teeth. But it is what it is. So the match ended like every other Hikaru Shida match ends, with a running knee finisher, you know? Nothing special here. They try to put over Hikaru Shida, and I'm just thinking to myself, I don't even know why this broad has a job, because I could totally see her in like a week and a half or two just going back to Japan permanently and competing in like Shimmer or whatever the fuck they have there, you know what I mean? Like, this girl is never going to be a mainstream AEW star. So I don't understand why they're giving away these wins to this broad. Just push one of your own people, like Britt Baker, who might actually stick around for a couple of years. I mean, let's be honest, she won't. She's probably going to go to NXT. But, you know, the odds of her staying are much greater than the odds of Hikaru Shida staying. Let's just say that, motherfuckers, right? So, there you go. Plus, Hikaru Shida hasn't even said a word yet, like, on TV. So what the fuck do I care about her, you know? She is cute, though. I like Hikaru Shida because she's cute. And I think she's better looking than Britt Baker, so that's what I got to say about that. Next up, they show this, like, video that was taped earlier. It's Nakazawa and Kenny Omega in like a bus or something, right? And they're just talking, and they have a tag match tonight. And Nakazawa says their tag team should be called the Best Friends because they're really best friends. Kenny Omega says, whoa, wait, Knock, as he calls him, Knock, right? He's like, that's not how it works because we already have a team called the Best Friends, and they're kind of a big deal, you understand what I'm saying? So Nakazawa says, but dude, I thought you were EVP or whatever, right? So why don't you just make it happen? All of a sudden, Orange Cassidy comes inside this trailer bus thing, right? He walks in, opens the other door, Best Friends come in, they're like, why, you guys talking shit? And then, like, the Best Friends end up challenging Nakazawa and Kenny Omega to like a winner gets the name match. Like, Kenny Omega didn't even want the name, but they're like, oh, you winner gets the name, right? A silly little stipulation, but I will say that even though it's silly, it does add something to an otherwise completely meaningless match. You know, the match is won by the Best Friends after they hit the strong zero on Nakazawa. I like the way that they booked it like that because the Best Friends need something, you know what I'm saying? They need, what's it called? Some sort of push because they've been around for like a while. I think Trent Beretta's probably wrestled more than anyone in the AEW roster. And it's good to have them beat a team that involves Kenny Omega. Even though Kenny Omega didn't take the fall, it's good, right? It just shows that, like, Kenny Omega is not John Cena, and these guys are not like jobbers. So that was kind of nice. The match itself was very, very stupid because like Nakazawa has like the baby oil, and like Kenny Omega did the Kotaro Crusher on Nakazawa, and Nakazawa's head went into the dick and ball area of like Trent or something. There's some goofy with some weird Japanese like gay wrestling type of shit. Like when I say gay, I don't mean like fucked up. I mean gay, like homosexual, dog. There was a lot of gay moves, and I don't know why they need to do these moves. Like, it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy's head going into a guy's crotch is not funny, especially when you do it to your own partner. So it's like, I don't know. I know that Kenny Omega and Nakazawa wrestled for like this DDT promotion, and I think they're known for having like gay matches and like all these weird like sexual like matches. But I guess they're all gay matches. I don't think they have intergender wrestling, right? So they have these gay matches. They're the ones that had the match with Kenny Omega versus the blow-up doll, I think. So it's a bunch of weirdos over there. Like, it's a very specific type of comedy that I think might be famous in Japan. But like it doesn't really translate well to like the United States or I'm sure Canada either, motherfucks. So that happened. It was all right for what it was. The best friends win. Next up, we had good old, what's it called? What do we have? Oh, I think I missed a match. It was the Murder Hawk, Vance Archer versus like some nameless jobber. Just like on Raw, they had like Brendan Vink. You know what I'm saying? Like they had some nameless jobber. So the Murder Hawk wins. This was preceded by a vignette by Jake the Snake Roberts saying that like comparing like Vance Archer to like, I forgot what it was, to like death or something like, something much worse, right? And they're like, it's the same thing. Like if you get into the ring with Vance Archer, you're gonna lose. And I'm just like, all right, let's go with this for a while. And then he's like, this guy dominated in Japan. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He was a solid under mid-carder in Japan. He wasn't even like a mid-carder. You know what I'm saying? He was a undercard wrestler in Japan. Like in any given event, Lance Archer is going to be in one of the first 3 matches in New Japan. Once in a while, he might be like in a tag match for the titles, but typically he will be in the undercard. This guy has never been a star in Japan. He's just like Tensai. They try to make it seem as if this guy went to Japan and was like the best wrestler in Japan. No, he wasn't. He was a jobber there too, motherfucks. So anyways, that happened. No one really gave a rat's ass. Then we had Lee Johnson versus Luke Harper, motherfucks. Luke Harper beat the shit out of this guy. He hit him with the truck stop, a.k.a. the Winds of Change, a.k.a. the Boss Man Slam, and then hit him with the discus clothesline. But this time he didn't do the Sister Abigail setup, which is good because that was really stupid. He just picked him up, did like a what's it called? Not a spiral clothesline, discus lariat, and that was that. He pinned him, and then after, like, they also had a vignette of him just telling this one of the 3 minions to dress well. It was really stupid. This thing's already like old and stale. Like I don't give a fuck. Like the problem with Dark Order is that, like, I'll tell you guys what the problem is. The problem is Evil Uno is fat. That's the problem, motherfuckers. Evil Uno is fat, and it creates a sloppiness. It just the team looks sloppy, right? It doesn't look like a cult, because leaders in cults, like high up people in cults, are like. I was watching this documentary last night, motherfuckers. Let me put it to you this way. Documentary was about prison gangs, right? And they got on to the most dangerous of all prison gangs, which is the Aryan Brotherhood, right? The Aryan Brotherhood are like white supremacists or whatever, and they make up like 1% of the prison population, and they're responsible for like 18 to 25% of the murders that happen in prison, right? Now, the thing about the Aryan Brotherhood that I noticed was that, like the documentary explained, that they had all these like hierarchies, right? And they're kind of like a cult in a way too. But they had like lessons. They would teach people like how to kill someone effectively. They would learn about organs and where to stab someone, all other shit, right? And then all these guys, all the top-ranking motherfuckers in the Aryan Brotherhood, these were big dudes, man. They were like jack guys. They were in shape. They looked like leaders. You know what I'm saying? Now, they're also pieces of shit. Goes without saying. But they look like leaders, right? So it's like someone like Evil Uno would never be in a prison gang. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, get the fuck out of here, you fat fuck. And I don't just mean the Aryan Brotherhood, but he wouldn't be in the Mexican gangs, in the black gangs, in the triads. Nowhere. They'd be like, get out of here, you're fat. You know what I mean? So the fact that Evil Uno is like the mouthpiece of this cult is just ridiculous. Because any follower should be like, dude, I'm not listening to you. You're a fat fuck. Why don't you lose some weight before I give you some time? You know what I'm saying? And Luke Harper is like at the end of the day, Luke Harper is not fat, of course, but Luke Harper looks like a guy that would be leading Evil Uno. You know what I mean? There's nothing special about this, It's really stupid. Like like, there's something to be said about the aesthetic of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, the aesthetic, the presentation of things is so important that even, like, murderous, racist motherfuckers in prison understand that the aesthetic matters. But for some reason, a TV show where aesthetics should matter way more than they do in prison gangs, motherfuckers, they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So, for all of you that are there bored during this quarantine time, I suggest you go on YouTube and find some prison documentaries. It's fascinating shit, man. It's crazy how these motherfuckers are able to, like, commit crimes from the inside, you know? But, it is what it is, right? So, yeah. Then, what happened was the main event. This was just preposterously dumb. First of all, the fact that Ty Dillinger is in the main event is just ridiculous. I mean, let's be real, motherfucker. This guy hasn't been on TV for, like, 3 weeks until last week. And now he's on TV again, but no one really cares. Yep. So there's that. Now, earlier in the show, Ty Dillinger was part of the crowd, and he kept saying to Michael Nakazawa, "Impress me," because that's like his thing now. He wants to find a tag team partner to impress him so he can become a tag team. And I'm just like, dude, why would anyone want to impress you? You're like 0-18. Like, you're not good enough to impress. You suck. You're a jobber, you know? So he came out, and then the match went on. Eventually, he put Cody Rhodes through a table, but Cody Rhodes put on his John Cena hat and fought through all adversity and wrestled him, kept wrestling him, then hit 2 consecutive crossroads, went for the pin, motherfucker kicks out of 2. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Ty Dillinger just kicking out of 2 crossroads. Then Cody Rhodes puts the figure 4 leg lock on him and pins him with it, motherfuckers. He pins him with it. Like, instead of tapping out, this was even worse than tapping out. He, like, had the figure 4 leg lock, and he just left his shoulders down, and he took the pin. I've never seen it before in my life. I've seen people get a 2 count, you know? And the guy at 2, he's always like, oh, I'm not going to let this happen. But anyways, that was the show. This means that Cody Rhodes advances to, to round 2, to the semifinals, motherfuckers. To the semifinals of the TNT Championship, which, by the way, is a stupid name. What does TNT mean in this case? Why don't they just call it the Dynamite Champion? Like, that would have made more sense. The TNT title, like the Turner. What does TNT stand for? Like Turner News Channel? I don't know. TNT TV. What does it stand for, motherfuckers? TNT in this bitch. TNT. I think it's like a weird. Oh, Turner Network Television. I'm so stupid. I should be able to figure that out. So now we have the Turner Network Television Championship. Who will be the first prestigious champion? Who gives up balls? But anyways, that happened. Now, this brings me to the real point of this video, now that we got this bullshit review out of the way, because it wasn't a good show, motherfuckers. I give it a 1 out of 10. But it brings me to my point, right? I was watching a video of the only wrestling YouTuber that matters, motherfuckers. There's only one. Well, there's 2. There's also me, you know what I'm saying? And there's a few other good ones like me, but there's one guy who I consider to be the #1 wrestling YouTuber of all time. All right? It's not the Smart Busters. It's fucking PSPower. Anyone that hasn't seen a video of PSPower's, I suggest you go and watch that son bitch immediately. Now, PSPower nowadays does like a video or 2 a year. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't give much of a shit. But PSPower back in the day, this guy made a lot of awesome videos. And for me, one of the reasons why I wanted to even start this channel was because I like PSPower and I wanted to do what he does, right? And I think a lot of people that have started wrestling channels do that. And PSPower is great. I hope he hears this somehow. But PSPower is awesome because PSPower fucking says it like it is, #1. Just like your boy. You know what I'm saying? We're kindred spirits, he and I. He says it just like I say it, like it is. You know what I'm saying? And he does not identify, as far as I can tell, with the internet wrestling community, nor does he identify with the smarts or the anti-smarts. What PSPower is he's an old school wrestling fan that really understands wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like, he understands it so well that even experts like your boy, the hater, can learn a few things from him. PSPower understands the nuances and layers to wrestling. And to shout out to him, because he did a video a couple weeks ago, but I ended up seeing it yesterday, because once in a while, like once every few months, I'll go to PSPower channel to see what's going on, to see if he has any new videos, because this motherfucker puts one out like every 6 months, right? So, and in it, he had a video that explained that he pretty much articulated what I was trying to say about WrestleMania on the WrestleMania review that I did, and on this Monday's Monday Night Raw review, right? But he articulated it so well, and to be honest, I didn't even finish the video. I had to stop it because I'm like, man, this guy really does fucking get it, and he really does get me, you know? And what PSPower said was this. He explained very well, and this kind of continued on to his WrestleMania review video, which I will put in the description because PSPower is a gangster. So he explained that there's two kinds of fans, right? And this was the best way to put it, and I'm going to steal it shamelessly from him. I mean, not steal it because I'm giving him credit, but you know what I'm saying. He said there's two kinds of wrestling fans. He's like, there's the new school fans that think of wrestling as a performance, as a circus performance. And in my opinion, this encapsulates a lot of modern fans, and I think the vast majority of what you people are starting to call the internet wrestling community. You know what I'm saying? And then PSPower said there's also the old school fans who consider it like a sport. Now, I keep saying wrestling is not a sport. I keep saying wrestling ain't a sport, motherfuckers, but we present it as such. We accept it as such, and we treat it as such, right? There's a false meritocracy, right? There is an element of like the person who wins the Rumble goes to WrestleMania. There are elements that make it sport-like, none the least of which is the fact that there's some form of athletic competition, right? And PSPower explains, he said, when people watch WrestleMania 17, I think this is a direct quote, he said people were excited to see The Rock fight Stone Cold, right? You know, when you see like Jericho versus Triple H, you want to see Jericho fight Triple H, right? And he contrasted this with what's happening today. And what's happening today is something completely different. He explained, and this is exactly what I was trying to say, but I didn't choose the right words. This guy, he gets it, man. And what he was saying was this, that nowadays people want to see, let's say, I'm using this example myself, John Cena and Bray Wyatt perform together, right? There is a difference. The difference isn't just the verb you're using, right? Because the medium is still the same. The wrestling is still, I mean, it's more or less the same, right? But what changes, and I don't think he said this part, or at least in the minutes that I heard, but is the expectation, right? What you expect to see is different. You know, I look forward to WrestleMania, and this is what I was trying to get at. WrestleMania is the one show where there should be none of this tomfoolery. You know what I'm saying? There should be no bullshit at WrestleMania. If you want to do Boneyard match, Taker versus AJ Styles, I will enjoy it just like everyone else enjoyed it. I will be like, wow, that was really different and unique. If you put that on, I don't know, Backlash or Hell in a Cell, but when you put that on WrestleMania, especially considering the fact that you've advertised that AJ Styles will be wrestling at WrestleMania and Cena will be wrestling at WrestleMania, I expect Cena to be in the match. I don't expect him to come out there and lift and do arm curls. You know what I'm saying? But just like PSPower pointed out, there is a market for this, right? There are a lot of people that think that this is cool. Like, I mean, I'm personally over debating whether it's cool or not. That's not important, right? But there are people out there that are like people that I like. People, some of the friendship, you know, some of the people that watch my videos, that always comment on videos, that like my videos. Some of them and I exchange emails sometimes, things of that nature, right? A lot of these people, like, don't agree with me, and that's totally fine. I actually am happy that people don't agree with me. But I think it speaks to the mentality of, like, the different types of fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are fans that, like, as PSPower said, he said when, like, because he's been watching wrestling for a fucking minute, motherfuckers. So he said, he's like, at WrestleMania 3 or whatever, when Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant wrestled, I think that was WrestleMania 3, right? Yeah. He's like, if Hulk Hogan gave Andre the Giant a dick suplex, right? That would not work, you know, because that was presented as a real thing, right? Now, if Cena and Bray Wyatt like start shooting jizz at each other, you know, then that might work because it's a performance, right? That's what. And when I heard PSPower say this, I immediately thought of one of my friends who texted me, and my friend said the following. He just said it straight up. He said anything. This is a quote from my text message. He said, "LOL, anything can happen in the Firefly Funhouse." And this is a statement that I think people like myself and PSPower just cannot get behind. Anything can happen in the Firefly Funhouse? No, this is something that I don't want to say I take it seriously, but this is something that I'm like, all right, this has to be presented with some form of realism. You know what I'm saying? It has to be presented within a modicum of realism. Whereas like other people are like, oh, it's just a performance. You know, like they're all friends backstage. No motherfucks. I want The Rock to hate Stone Cold in real life, if possible. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel it. I remember, I was thinking about this when I was taking a piss 2 days ago. I remember one time in 6th or 7th grade, I think it was 6th grade, we go to PE class, right? And this girl I mean, I don't know why it was a girl that said this, but it was a girl. Her name was Dawnetta, motherfuckers. Dawnetta. Shout out to Dawnetta. Right? Dawnetta, she was telling me and some of the boys, she was like, you'll never believe who I saw in Washington, D.C. at the time. Because her family and her flew to Washington, D.C. that weekend. And we were like, who'd you see? Like, what the fuck could you see? It's just a city, right? She was like, I saw Triple H. This is like around 2000, 2001, right? She's like, I saw Triple H hanging out with Mankind, motherfuckers. And I was like, me and these boys were like, that's impossible, Dawnetta. What are you talking about? How can Mankind hang out with Triple H? That makes no sense. They hate each other. Did you not see what Triple H did to Mankind at Royal Rumble? And did you not see what happened afterwards where Triple H retired Mick Foley? You know what I'm saying? And Dawnetta was like, what the fuck do you want me to tell you? You know, that's what I saw. I saw them walking together having a beer. You know, they were friends. Triple H and Mick Foley are friends, right? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no. That ruins my perception of what wrestling is. Nowadays, people are okay with someone just breaking kayfabe in the middle of the match. You know? They're just okay with it. They're like, oh, we're friends. No, motherfuckers. I don't want to see that bullshit. You know, there's a time and place for that. And the time is called 8 o'clock on Wednesday nights. And the place is called AEW, man. I don't want to see that in WWE, where I still take that shit quasi seriously. Now, I don't want to sound like a fucking mark who's like I take it seriously, but that's what I'm getting at. It's just a distinction between marks and smarts and everybody else, right? There's only one thing that matters in wrestling, right? Is whether you're entertained and whether the person who's doing the entertaining is getting paid. Like one of my friends, he messaged me today. He showed me this. It was like a clip. I didn't watch it, but it was like apparently Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre talking to each other, and Heath Slater brings up Drew McIntyre's mom, who apparently passed away, and she's like, you know, she would be proud of you, Drew. She'd be proud of the fact that you're like world champion, you know? And my friend showed this to me as if like it was this emotional moment. And I'm like, yo, I'm pretty sure his mom was just as proud of him when he was in 3MB. Don't be a mark. It's just a fucking job, man. It doesn't matter. Just because Vince McMahon decides that you're champion now or you're a jobber now, doesn't matter. You made it to the WWE. That's the goal, right? If anybody that's listening to this wants to be a wrestler, your goal shouldn't be I want to be champion. Your goal should be I want to be in WWE. The end. What they decide my role is then is that's what it is. If they give me the opportunity to be a main eventer, I'm going to try hard to be entertaining, to be good, so I can make it. But like to suggest that somehow his parents and therefore the fans get some sort of like satisfaction seeing Drew McIntyre becoming champion is weird, man. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like all that matters is, did Drew McIntyre do his job? He did. The end. Simple as that. You know? All this talk in wrestling about he deserved it, he didn't deserve it, all that should be constrained within storylines. What I mean by that is this. You can make the argument Dolph Ziggler deserved to have Otis beat him up, right? Because in kayfabe, Dolph Ziggler stole his broad, right? But when you start breaching that, that's when you start becoming a mark. When you start saying things like, oh, Drew McIntyre deserved to main event WrestleMania. Why? Why did he deserve it more than fucking, I don't know, Kofi Kingston? Why did he deserve it more? You know, are we really to believe that Drew McIntyre works harder than Xavier Woods? Or Xavier Woods works harder than Buddy Murphy? No, motherfuckers. They're just doing their jobs. So that's the kind of the idea, right? And I don't want to put words into PSPower's mouth, you understand what I'm saying? But what he said made a lot of sense. And the real point of what he said was that there is a schism between old school fans and newer fans, right? If you watch wrestling back in the day, you know, you actually felt like you wanted the Hardy Boys to throw Edge and Christian off of like the cage when they had their cage match. You're like, fuck these motherfuckers. They've been pissing in your shoes for weeks now, Hardy Boys, right? Nowadays, people are like, oh, they're all friends. I saw in WWE on the road or whatever. I saw they all travel together. Get the fuck out of here. That's not what's good. And I have to finish this up by talking about the very, very underrated Great Khali, motherfucks. I've mentioned this in videos before, but we've had a lot of subscribers since then. In the Jericho podcast with Jinder Mahal that I heard one day, Jinder Mahal explained to Jericho, he said, Jericho, in India, no one is more famous than Great Khali. And he explained, the reasons are obvious, right? Because Great Khali's a big motherfucker and he's a celebrity. But he explained that they did this like random, like offshoot, one-off wrestling event in India, in like New Delhi or something, right? And it was like a 2-night event, but they weren't like back-to-back. It was like Monday and then like next Saturday or something, right? So the first event sold like 40,000 seats or something like that. The second event sold like 80,000. We're talking about insane numbers here, motherfuckers. And what happened was this. At the end of the first event, this American jobber, I don't even know his name, but he came and he attacked the Great Khali. He beat the shit out of Great Khali, right? And then the main event of the whole 2-day event was going to be this American versus Great Khali in like 5 days, right? So they built this up really well because people were like, oh, we want to see Great Khali get his revenge, you know, in his home nation of India against this foreign son of a bitch. And you know what Great Khali did according to Jinder Mahal? Great Khali went, he was fine, you know, because like the guy didn't really hurt him. Because, you know, once again, they're friends, right? Kayfabe. But Great Khali went and he checked himself into a hospital for like 3 days, motherfuckers. And he did that only so he could sell the fact that he is injured, so he could sell the storyline. Great Khali went and checked himself into a hospital. He stayed away from his family for 3 days, right? Just so if anyone was walking into the hospital randomly, they're like, oh, holy shit, it's Great Khali. The guy really did hurt him. You know what I mean? It sells the idea. And then as a result of Great Khali doing that, and I'm sure other elements, they sold out the second night, right? The point I'm trying to make is be more like Great Khali and be like, this is gonna piss off so many people. Be more like Great Khali and be less like the Young Bucks, motherfucks. Be more like Great Khali, a big motherfucker who understands the psychology of wrestling, who understands that in order for wrestling to be effective and to draw in millions of viewers, you have to present it as serious. A lot of people are like, oh, the wrestling fans have gone because the content is PG. No, it has nothing to do with it being PG. Because if a show is done correctly, it can be PG and it can be good. What's that show with Steve Urkel? That's a great show. I forgot what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's a PG show. You understand what I'm saying? And then there's shows that are more for like teen audiences or even rated R shows that are just garbage, that aren't funny, they're not cool, they're not fun, right? It doesn't matter if something's PG or not. You can have a lot of the same storylines in a PG setting. It wasn't the fact that Stone Cold said, I don't give a rat's ass. You know, it wasn't that made it awesome. It wasn't the fact that Stone Cold would spit beer in someone's face. No, it was the storylines and the storytelling, motherfuckers. That's all you need. You know, the real reason why fans are tuning out in droves, motherfuckers, in millions, is because out of the 10 million people that would watch, like what was it, like Raw and Nitro were pulling like 5 and 6 million each. So out of the 10, let's just say 10 million, out of the 10 million people that were watching wrestling at its height on a Monday night, right, maybe 1 million of those are like fans like me who are like, all right, I'll just keep watching because I still like it, kind of, right? And then another million are people, right, that actually want to see teleportation, Orange Cassidy, all this stupid shit. The other 8 million are people who are like, no fam, I'm not watching a match where John Cena teleports in and out of character and then he's like friends with Bray Wyatt during the match until the end when Bray Wyatt hits him with a fucking Sister Abigail, completing the fantasy that I had 6 years ago of Bray Wyatt going over Cena. You know what I'm saying? Most people, the 8 million, the 80%ers, motherfucks, I would even say the 90%ers, because the 1 million like me are watching it despite the fact that we don't like that, right? The 90%ers are like, yo, this is not for me, man. Like, imagine, like I said, and I'm not saying it's bad if you enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying? Like, there were parts even of the John Cena Bray Wyatt that were enjoyable, right? These things could be enjoyable, again, if done on a random episode of Raw. That'd be great. It'd be like a fantastic segment. I'd be like, oh, that's a cool thing to talk about, you know? But that's not what happened. It was at WrestleMania. But think about this. Imagine, like PSPower said a variant of this, and I said it before I watched this video as well. But imagine this. Imagine like being me, right? I'm watching wrestling with my girlfriend who doesn't know anything about wrestling. She's watched it like 5 times. All of that has been this past year with me, right? And we turn on TV. They don't have wrestling. I don't think it's big in Brazil, right? So we turn on TV and she's like, babe, what the hell is this? You know, she sees Bray Wyatt, and I explained to her, I'm like, Bray Wyatt's gonna fight John Cena, but it's gonna be a weird match, babe. It's gonna be a Firefly Funhouse match. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, no one knows, but we'll see, right? The match starts, she's like, well, why are they talking and dancing with each other? Why is this guy, you know, she's asking reasonable questions, right? Because how can I explain it to her? I'm like, oh, wait a second. Well, in kayfabe, Bray Wyatt has magical powers, right? If I said it to her, she'd be like, I'm dating someone that's retarded. That's what she would think. That's what anyone would think. If they don't watch wrestling, if they don't know what they're watching, then they will think exactly that. That's why these successful sports are the sports that are the simplest to understand. You know, except for football, kind of, because football, it's not inherently obvious what's going on, right? But if you watch basketball, you can like if you take a person who's never seen basketball and you put them in front of a basketball game for 3 minutes, in 3 minutes they'll understand exactly what's happening. They'll understand that one team has 5 people, the other team has 5 people, and they're trying to put the ball in the basket. They won't understand the nuances. They won't be able to be like, oh, goaltending. Of course not. But they'll understand the nuances, right? Same thing with soccer, same thing with hockey, same thing with other sports, or boxing or MMA. They'll understand what's happening. Boxing, oh, this guy's punching this guy. The guy who punches him more wins, right? But if you were to, and even in wrestling, you watch, it might take like an hour, but you get what's going on, right? With no one explaining it to you. But if you watch Firefly Funhouse, you will never understand what's going on. You will be like, what the fuck is this? Who put this together? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at, motherfuckers. And the more I talk about the Firefly Funhouse, the more I start appreciating Taker versus AJ Styles. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, I'm just like, yo, man, that wasn't that bad compared to what Cena and Bray Wyatt did. You know what I mean? And the worst part of it, maybe, was the fact that, like, you know, we are like reliving this feud, first of all, and it's almost like it's correcting the way the feud went the first time around. And I'm just like, dude, you know you wanted the feud to go the way it did because you had big hopes for Cena still, and you had no hopes for Bray Wyatt, and you still don't, motherfuckers. So that's what I'm getting at. You understand what I'm saying, motherfuckers? That's what I'm getting at. It's the PSPower video that he made. It's exactly that. It's the different expectations that different people of different, I don't want to say age groups, but different fandoms, if you will, have. We have different expectations, and in some ways, I've convinced myself to like just accept it for what it is because it's like there's nothing I can do. This was not done to cater to me. Like when they bring back New Age Outlaws to beat up like Cody Rhodes and Goldust, that's done for me. You know what I'm saying? That's something that tickles my fancy. When they bring Bray Wyatt to fight John Cena in a house of horrors, whatever the fuck it was, that's not done for me. That's done for the guy who thinks that's funny. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, you know? PSPower did a good job, so shout out to him. If you guys haven't watched his videos, suggest you do. Even the old ones, they've aged very well. He makes great salient points. So there you go, motherfuckers. Shout out to PSPower. Shout out to your boy. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to the new subscribers. And with that, stay dirty, stay clean, stay healthy, and go fuck yourselves, motherfuckers.